For those of you unfamiliar with this deck, its entire goal is to win through burn. It's got 5 creatures in it in its current incarnation, 3 Steel Scales and 2 Ambriel Archangels. The Ambriels, I'm on the fence about. They have won me some games, but they're also not a terribly great card. But the armor does give you enough stall that if you need to live an extra turn, you can. It also gives me enough creatures to reliably have, or to have Ambriel's Edict in the deck and expect to be able to play it on occasion. Because there are 7 cards I can draw with Ambriel's Edict that will allow me to play Edict. 2 Dragon Wakes, the 3 Steel Scales, and the Ambriel Archangels. Oh, with the new Aloyan cards. I haven't actually bought any of the new Aloyan cards yet. Let me see here. How much do I get? 1,300 for 5? I'm just not completely sold on the new Aloyan Legendary. I don't know that it's worth it. Maybe it is. I might purchase some later and play with them. I've dropped 2 million silver on this release, so I'm a bit hesitant to spend my silver on it because I am way down on silver. I'm down from my 7 million to 5 million. That comes from me purchasing 3 Ice Grasps, 3 Patrons of Codruses, 3 Patrons of the Deepwood, and 2 Enduring Vitalities. Yeah, while we're waiting for people to show up, I'll play through a quick constructed queue with Zaniel's, my version of Zaniel's deck. If you don't know what I mean when I say Zan's deck, he posted a thread on Reddit and the Solforge forums outlining a deck that kills people through burn. This is my take on it. And it does pretty well. It goes 3-1 most of the time, somewhat frequently 2-2, and occasionally 4-0. I would say it's probably about a 60-30-10 split, which means it's not enough to go infinite. For a deck to go infinite, you have to be able to go 4-0 more often than you go 2-2. This deck doesn't do that. It's close, but not close enough. Welcome Contagion King and Falcon Hit and Spam 325. This is the problem with Solforge right now, is the constructed queue takes forever to come up. I guess I could take this deck into the free tournament this weekend. It's a Forge Master weekend, which means you can build a deck with any card you want, play 4 rounds, and get back your entry fee. Costs 100 enter, you get 100 back. Still waiting for my opponent. So, in the grand scheme of things, if you want to try out new decks or new ideas, this is the way to do it. There is no investment cost, and you can play against top-tier decks all day long. Oh, slow at finding opponents. So, while we're waiting for the opponent, since it is Aloyan week, let's talk about the new Aloyan cards. Aloyan? Bubble! I don't actually own any, so I have to turn on and out. The worst matchup for this deck is probably Dinos. It's really hard to burn through Dinos with this deck. Thundersoar gives it problems if it can get grown at all, because Thundersoar has always been a pain to kill off with burn. Brawn hurts because it means you can't try and damage a creature this turn and then kill it the next turn. And the deck itself puts out a lot of damage very quickly if you don't answer it. Now, it's not unbeatable, but it is rough. Inu Life Drain is also a difficult matchup. I think it's less difficult than Brawn. But if you get your opponent with Crypt Conjurers going and you don't draw the burnouts to get rid of them, things will go badly for you very quickly. Aha! An opponent. Doop, 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 doop. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going to open up with a Steel Scale Dragon. I really want to get one Steel Scale leveled. And then, of course, burn the face. I always play Shatterbolt over Lightning Spark because Shatterbolt's level 2 is better than Lightning Spark in every freaking way. In fact, the whole spell is better than Lightning Spark. This is a strictly better spell. It goes 5, 9, 14 versus 5, 8, 12. And it removes armor. There is nothing better about Lightning Spark than Shatterbolt. Play both of them because they are both burn spells that can hit the face, but if you have the option between Lightning Spark and Shatterbolt, you play Shatterbolt every single time. Because it is a better card. Period. There aren't a lot of strictly better cards in Solforge. At the same rarity that serve the same purpose, that is one of them. A Sage. Oh, this will be fun. Static Shock, Burnout, and Draconic Echoes to the face. And I just let the Steel Scale Dragon run into the Sage. I don't have a problem with that at all. Life gain. Awesome. Well, we always play Ice Grasp when we draw Ice Grasp. My question is, do I want to play defensively or offensively? I think I want to go defensive here. No, offensive. That might be a mistake. If I play Ambriel on top of the Steel Scale, I prevent all damage to myself next turn. This is going to be Ice Grasp, Static Shock, and Shatterbolt. Well, crap. It's still going to be Ice Grasp, Static Shock, and Shatterbolt, but I have an Oros alive that I don't want alive, and that's a problem. I should have moved the Steel Scale over just to block the Glow Stride. Oh well. Oh good. This is a great hand to start out 2.1 with. I drop Steel Scale 2 and Edict, and kill off everything except that Oros. Battle and in turn. Steel Scale Dragon 2 is just a monster. 16, 17, 2 mobility and breakthrough. If I had a way to kill that without using the dragon, I absolutely would. I do not. So we will just Static Shock the face, Draconic Echoes the face, Lightning Spark the face, and kill off Oros. He's now played both of his Oros 2s, and is at 31 life. That's pretty good for me. He's taking a minimum of 12 damage this turn, Sorry, 13 damage this turn. Unless he gains some life, he's just dead. I burn in the face and he dies. Good game. I got lucky with my Steel Scale 2 on 2.1, especially with an Edict. Without that, that game is a little bit closer, but I still think I win it. Hey, Muppet Pac-Man! And Yin Kuza. Yep. The damage output of the burn deck is quite intense. And turn 1.1 Ice Grasp is the dream with this deck. I get to play 2 Ice Grasps and just run away with it. Mono Lightning also plays a burn deck much like this one. And in the burn deck mirror matchup, whoever can get the Ice Grasps off first generally wins. Oh, let's see here. Welcome to Omen Raven and Anarchivist and Bright Dasa and Falcon Hit, Gutch 20, Inmander, Math Nerd 06, Muppet Pac-Man, Snuggletooth, Yankuza, and Zolrock. Oh, Ice Grasp, Stag Shock, Burnout. That seems completely reasonable and fair. Another Steel Scale, and you burn my face. I have a 20, 40, 60% chance of this spawning in the lane I want it to. And it did. I Static Shock and Shatterbolt the face. And I get to play one of my Steel Scale dragons to get its rank 2. That actually may be the wrong play here. I may just be better served going Draconic Echoes and burning out the face, but I want to play the Steel Scale so I have the ability to Dragon Wake Steel Scale 2 in player level 2. Flame Lance, Shatterbolt. I just throw all 3 of my Tempest spells to the face. And he basically has to deal 57 points of damage to me this turn or he's dead. And I don't think the deck is capable of dealing 57 damage. Let's see here. He's got 2 on him. 3 lightning, or 3 Static Shocks would be 6, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, if he had 3 Static Shocks, he could do it. But he doesn't, so burn out and I win. Good game, Mono Lightning. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Now then, back to discussing Aloyan Week. Bubble. Bubble, 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 pop! Nexus Bubble. Our Aloyan creatures in the center lane get armor 3. That's not bad for the armor deck. It's arguably better than Pummel Pack because it's much more reliable to be able to play. The problem is it's a center lane card, which means you have to drop your high armor creature in center lane, which minimizes the effectiveness of, woohoo, new follower, Math Nerd 06, go, go, go! Why is that not on top? Order, move to top. There we go. Now it should be. It minimizes the effectiveness of your next Aeronauts. Ideally, the Aloyan Armor deck wants to put a next Aeronaut in lane 2 or 4 and have the ability to move it into mid when need be. Or drop it mid for surprise, I get plus attack damage. If you're dropping your high armor creature in mid, that limits your options. So if you drop the new guy, you take any damage. Yeah. Info. Draconic Echoes and call it a turn. Sorry, Mr. Info, I didn't mean to make you wait a minute and a half. Got 9 damage off my Draconic Echoes. That's quite nice. I will probably be playing Ice Grasp and another Draconic Echoes this turn. And we've got a Crypt Conjurer. And it doesn't actually change my plan, but it makes me... actually, I'm going to go ahead and throw the Steel Scale here to kill off the Crypt Conjurer. That's possibly a mistake. Wow, I got 17 damage off of my Draconic Echoes 1. That's a very good Draconic Echoes. 17 out of 20. Barracks Embrace. Tendrils of Twilight. Oh, come on. Now I wish I had not played the Steel Scale Dragon, because that was absurd. We will Stag Shock the face, Stag Shock the face, Burnout, Shatterbolt. Yeah, not the dragon there was a huge mistake with him having Embrace and double Tendrils. If I hadn't played that, he would have had no targets for those spells, and I'd be looking at a lot better board position. This is probably double Flame Lance on the Evan Skull or something else he plays. I'm not worried about Xerxes. Xerxes is only a problem if I plan to play a lot of creatures. I'll probably still hit Flame Lance on Xerxes because the Evan Skull is going to die in a turn. It's done plenty of work, but at the end of his next turn it dies. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to invest a spell in killing it. Or 2 spells in killing it. Of course, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up losing this game because of that Steel Scale Dragon play. Because he gained 9 life off of that and did 9 damage to me. Or sorry, he gained 13 life off of that and dealt 9 damage to me. Oh. Flame Lance him off the board. Shatterbolt him off the board. I'm just too far behind. Isle of Zith. Yeah, I've lost. Unless he whiffs completely, has nothing but removal in his hand here. Which would be great for me. Double Howl of Zith. That's a great way to know you've lost. As mentioned earlier, always play Shatterbolt over Lightning Spark because it is a strictly better card. Oh, gosh. He's hit me with 3 Howl of Ziths in player level 2. I am totally dead, but that is a little bit absurd. Let's see here. Do that. And that. Even if I got max damage, he's not dead, so that has to move over here. $14, not bad. If I can survive this turn, I actually probably win this. Much to my surprise. I have to survive this turn, but which at 7 health is asking a lot. I know he doesn't have a Hallow Zip in his hand, because he's already howled me 3 times in player level 2. And he's still in player level 2, so... That's close. Not quite good enough. And I think that's a victory for me. You move over here. Flame Lance. Shatterbolt. Yep. Good game info. He had some really terrible draws for me having no creatures on the board. Yeah. There were the 2 turns in player level 2 where he played Hallow Zith meant that he had a handful of spells that target creatures, and there was not a creature on either side of the board. That's just devastating for that deck, or for any deck, really. When you have nothing but creature-based removal and there are no creatures on the board, that's just opening the door for your opponent. Hi, Neil. So that was a bit of luck on my part. It was also a misplay earlier on when I played the Steel Scale 2 and let him get those spells off that turn. Yeah, I completely agree. When he plays Howl and nothing else, that tells me that he had something like 2 Tendrils and a Varric Embrace in his hands. Just a really bad draw for him. While we're waiting. Welcome, Animate Gold and Crawley Kai. And Gotta Be KD, Mr. Solforge World Champion. And Resolute 55 and Simon Snow 1234. I think I've said hello to everybody. I might have missed Bright Dasa. If I did, welcome, Bright Dasa. Waiting for my 4-0 matchup. See if I can get a platinum pack out of all of this. Twitch chat guy. Word. Come on, come on. Give me my matchup. I've already broken even on this one, which is nice. Let's see here. Unknowns. Patron. The Alolan Patron I've seen people trying to use in the armor deck. It's not a bad idea because Warmonger Mod is an interesting card in and of itself, and this is Warmonger Mod with the body. I just haven't seen it work out terribly effectively. I don't know. You can't really splash much with him, because if you splash too much, he gets a lot worse because he doesn't trigger. But I would love to put in something like 3 Smoke Wyverns in a deck with him, and the rest of it be Alolan. Maybe 3 Battle Brands. That's 6 cards. But you're basically, if you do that, if you ever draw 2 Tempest cards in your hand, you can't activate him. If you draw 1 Tempest card in your hand, he has to be played first. And that is a limiting factor. Well, I guess he doesn't have to be played first. You could play the Tempest card first. The attack doubling, though, is a powerful mechanic. It's just a matter of trying to figure out how to utilize it effectively that can be competitive with the current meta. Because right now the game is so fast. And the deck I'm playing is partly to blame for that. The last game did go to player level 3, but it very rarely makes it to 3.1. The game is over one way or the other sometime in player level 2. Last game notwithstanding. And dinos generally win. The game is generally wrapped up before player level 3. Zombies, if it's drawing well, it's generally wrapped up before player level 3. The only deck that goes to player level 3 with any frequency... Hi, Talitha. Do you have a sandwich? Aw, you're adorable. My daughter just walked into the room. See here. She has a sandwich. Ah! She disappeared. I was going to show you off, but you left. Yeah. Life Drain has the ability to kill in player level 2 if it draws decently well. And it stalls out well enough that it can live into the start of player level 3. I am so glad Wegu very rarely gets the perfect hand. I'm glad to see that Wegu is not dominating the queue. I hate Wegu as a card. I think it's bad card design. I don't like cards that are, oh look, I got lucky and win the game. Regardless of what my opponent has done, they get 1 turn to answer a 20 health creature, or I win. That bothers me. I just think it's bad design. But overall, the game has gotten to be way too fast for what I think the designers are looking for. I expect to see several cards get rebalanced, also known as nerfed, come the rebalancing before the next client. I don't know how you're going to do that without completely changing the nature of some cards, but in this deck, for example, I don't know what you can change in this to make it slower. The only thing you can do is nerf Ice Grasp. But if you nerf Ice Grasp, you basically make the deck unplayable. Everything else here, Dragon Wake, there's not much you can do to make that weaker unless you nerf all the dragons. I guess you can nerf Steel Scale, but... Hi! Steel Scale has such a significant drawback that nobody... Before this deck, nobody played it anyways. If you nerf it so it doesn't get played in this deck, then nobody's ever going to play it. Lightning Strike and Shatterbolt. Shatterbolt is just a better Lightning Spark in every possible way. Oh, hey, we got a game. Who are we playing against? Jabor. Without an Ice Grasp, we'll open up with the Steel Scale. He appears to be playing, I assume, Wegu. No, Relic Hunter. So we're up against an armor deck. This turn will be Ice, regardless of what he plays, it will be Ice Grass, Static Shock, Ice Grass. Get that down to 5 so it's killable. That was a very good turn for me. I know I'm behind on board, but this deck is always behind on board. Do you have Patron and Rage? Nope, just Rage. We'll burn out the Aeronaut and Draconic Echoes.
No.
Yeah, you closed the door. Now, 1 damage on my Draconic Echoes. Oh, the problems with playing with Draconic Echoes. Sometimes it does things like that. Relic Scouts. Aeronauts. Justicar, I'm not worried about. I think we Flame Lance this guy. We Static Shock the face. And we Shatterbolt him. No, we'll Shatterbolt the face. Because it's not going to take much for me to kill him, and his current board state doesn't deal enough damage to me fast enough to kill me. Although this hand has to play itself. I can't play Edict, so it's going to be Lightning Spark, or sorry, Static Shock, Lightning Spark, and Draconic Echoes. I'll take the Static Shock on the Justicar with the Static Shock to kill it. And now he has to kill me this turn, or he's dead. Any spell in my hand kills him. And I have 3 spells in my hand. So he's got to do 58 points of damage to me this turn, which that deck is not capable of doing. Good game, Jabber. Exact damage. I think I would lower Brawn by 1 attack, or sorry, 1 attack, 1 health at every level. Make it a 6/6, 11/11, and rank 3 I don't care about, because games so rarely go to rank 3 right now. Just nerfing his stats slightly. Part of the reason that he gets so out of control, not only is he difficult to kill, he trades positively with everything. But once he's on the board, there are so many things that buff Brawn, from the dragons to the new Enduring Vitality, that a 9/9 Brawn in player level 1, sorry, a 9/9 Dino Knight in player level 1 is nothing. It's not hard to do at all. It happens all the freaking time. And it is almost impossible to deal with effectively. It's outside of burn range for any burn spell. It's unkillable by any creature except for Behemoth. And then it's a negative trade with Behemoth, because Behemoth will become a 1/1 after blocking and then die. It's just too much of a swing card in player level 1. If you nerf it to a 6/6, that gets it to 8/8 at best. That's still very, very powerful. But yes, I think getting rid of aggressive would make him unplayable. So in Dino decks, he's a finishing card. He gives you a great amount of reach at the late game that aggressive is required for.